Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday morning trading room. Hump day. Woo, halfway through the work week. All right. Sorry, just finishing something up. All right, so here we are with the NASDAQ, and if you hung out for the remainder of yesterday's trading, you can see that the market very much sideways. So here was the morning session, a little bit of a rally going into the lunch hour, or just after the lunch hour. And then the market took it all back and gained it again going into the close. So just a really stagnant kind of day and very quiet through the overnight. And here we are opening right in the middle of yesterday's range. That's going to make for a little tricky trading. You know, if you have a trading range, you know that the buyers are down here in the bottom third or quarter. Sellers are up here, but who's in the middle, right, if this is your range? So pretty neutral territory right now. Need to exercise a little extra caution perhaps. It does appear as though we have completed a rule of three type trade. It's a very weak rule of three, I would think, because we haven't had much of a test of the extreme. The rule of three, the counter trend signal for the eagle. You can see we're producing a red bar buy signal as well, and the band is just barely out of sync. The overall trend is up, so if I were looking for a trade, if I was really desperate to take a trade right now, I think I would prefer buying to selling. But here we are. Just kind of watching and waiting. So like I said, if you're looking for an early signal, you could perhaps buy that, but bear in mind, we are in the middle of the trading range, so good luck. The market could just as easily decline as rally from here. The hawk giving us the same kind of information, a lot of yellow bars suggesting sideways market. The falcon also very sideways. Filter broken up, trend line going back and forth, lots of signals producing with no follow through. All that tells us we have a sideways trading range. And here we go on the Raptor as well. So if you're just looking to trade the overall trend, you could hold out for any buy signal, really. Like I said, we have a buy signal here in the eagle. Don't have a buy signal anywhere else, but we know we're going to get one eventually. Well, here comes one on the Raptor right now. You may consider this to be a number 2 signal. That's the counter trend signal, but it would be with the overall trend. And I'm talking now about looking at a daily or a weekly or even an hourly chart. And here is the hard edge bounce signal now, the number 3. But we're so starved for direction. We're not seeing much follow through. Now, sideways periods like this are just a part of trading, and they do tend to precede the next big move. Either higher or lower. I suppose you could, if you wanted to do an OCO order, you could bracket the high and the low of the day, enter a buy order above, short below. If we come back here now with the number 2 signal following the number 3, that would be an interesting buy. I might even try that. There it is. All right, I'm going to just hop in with a buy order. Cover below the low. And this is usually the time of the morning that I get my first half decent signal. Did they slip me? They did too. Well, we're making a little bit of progress here. It's up to you whether you want to try to run it out. Yesterday's highs around the 60.10 area. We've got primary resistance at 60.07, 60.14 would be the next resistance zone. Oh, actually, I guess that would be near yesterday's highs. No, sorry, I was right the first time. All right, here we are getting a little bounce off of the high of the morning, which is characteristic of the sideways grind that you see in a trading range type market. The problem with trading ranges is that the market very likely could come down here, tag my stop by a couple of ticks, and then reverse and head higher. So if you wanted to avoid that, you can give maybe another couple of ticks on the entry. Notice what it did here with the highs. I'm surprised it didn't break it by just a tick. Come on, buyers, get up there. It's kind of like yesterday was. I sit there for a long time waiting for something, anything to happen. Notice what happened? How the market just broke the low by a couple of ticks? We'll see here in a moment whether that's going to be enough to have kept me out of a premature stop out, or if the market is truly ready to head lower. Not looking so good for my long position right now. Sellers are landing on pretty thick here on the Geiger counter. It keeps pulling over. No! Okay, so maybe it's not going to be a bullish day today. Of course, as we get a little bit lower into yesterday's trading range, we're probably going to see some buyers show up. If in fact the market is in the trading range. bit of a pullback now. The hawk already full on bearish, even producing a first micro-macro cross signal. The eagle actually pretty bearish as well, with this little bit of a green bar sell and trend change signal, hard edge bounce, all kind of smushed one on top of the other. Seller's not, or the buyer's not letting go of the market just yet. You would think after breaking the low of the morning, there might have been a little bit more follow through, but so far, nothing. Now that we're a little deeper in the trading range instead of being mid-range, and we're still not that deep, but we're kind of getting toward that bottom third of the range. I might try one more buy. I would like to get a little more structure before I do. I would like to see, well, the Raptor here is going to be one of the first tools to produce a counter trend signal. If I could get a decent little retest of the extreme, another buy signal, that might work out. Or is this going to be a test of the extreme there? Like I said, the overall trend is up, so I'm inclined to stay with the overall trend if I can. And I'm going to try to run this one out. I'll leave my break even up here near the highs of the morning. All right, trade's at break even now. All right, a little bit of traction. Of course, as we get closer toward the top end of yesterday's range, we're going to attract more sellers. So as we get, say, around here 59.98 up to 60.10, we could find a few more buyers. Stops are at break even. I'm going to do my best to not strangle this trade. It looks like it may actually try to run out a little bit. I should have a trader's favorite word, I should have. I should have had two contracts in play here. Oh well. Hopefully those stops won't be too aggressive. So, as I mentioned, we're going to see some sellers show up here soon. Next stop 60.07, which is primary resistance. I wonder if I shouldn't just take profit there. Oh, are you gonna take me? Don't do that. We do have other buying opportunities. A first micro macro cross higher now on the on the hawk here. The Falcon's trying to work a trend change signal, which if it drifts much lower, which it usually does, it usually gets back here to the trend line, my Raptor trade is going to get tagged. The Raptor also working on a number one signal, a cloud crossover, right? So the cloud's crossing from bearish to bullish. There's a characteristic little pullback, and then the market comes out with the signal. If I can ride out this little swing, 60.07 a definite target, and then after that, 60.14, we'll call it 60.15. And that would be a nice target. First things first. This is a real tug-of-war bar. If you watch the Geiger counter going back and forth, the buyers will take their turns to try to rally the market, and prices don't go anywhere. Then the sellers will take their turn to drive the market down. It won't go anywhere. What a balanced bar. Obviously, I'd like to see a break here of the high. If we break 60.02 quarter, there we go. All right, I don't want to jinx myself, but let's throw a profit order in here. Hey, I won't be greedy. We'll take 60.13. There we go. Ooh, I was hoping we were past this little swing. Come on, get up there, get going. Come on. Get away from there. Sometimes it helps if you hold your breath. No. Okay. Good trade, all the same. Hooray for us. So what we're going to get now is we may get a little bit more of a pullback. The market will come out now with the number 1 signal. And that would offer another buying opportunity. So that's what I'm on the lookout for. Oh, we might even get a late filter entry signal here in the Falcon. Getting a macro pullback here in the Hawk. So if you wanted to get on board early, I might try to run this one out as well. You could take the macro pullback signal, which is going to develop right here. You should cover it to the hard edge or in the macro line. I wouldn't really, because of the sideways nature of the market this morning, I don't think I would really go in for 2 full contracts, but we'll just leave it how it is for right now. I'll put my break even up here. Even though this looks like a pretty deep stop here on the Hawk, it really isn't. The ideal stop below this low, at least to start. You know, when you have an initial stop that's wider, you can always tighten it. Okay, working a late filter entry signal on the Falcon here, the late filter entry, occurs when your filter goes out of sync and comes back into sync, but the whole time your trend line does not change color, and you produce a buy signal. At the moment, we only have the warning dot, so we don't have a completed signal just yet. There we go. We still have the warning dot. You can anticipate the warning dot or the triangle hash mark will print somewhere up there. I'm already long on the Hawk, so I'm not going to duplicate the trade here on the Falcon. And here on the Raptor, you still want to be on the lookout for that. That number 1 cloud crossover signal. Here too, it's a little problematic. We got to try to keep the stops as far away as possible to start. Entering above this high might be a little safer. So there's the late filter entry now complete on the Falcon. We'll go back here to the action on the Hawk. By the way, had I gone all in, all out, like smart people do, I would have hit my profit target. What I'll do, if the market rallies from here, as I suspect it might, I'll show you how you can scale out of a position simply by using your buy and sell market buttons. Actually, you know what? Let's do it like that. So what did I say? One of my targets was going to be 60.15. I think that's what it was. 1 second. Yeah, so 60.07, 16.15 for the next target. And I wasn't going to be too greedy. I was looking somewhere around 60.13. So what you could do is, so long as your quantity is set at a single, you could scale out of your position by taking a sell limit order, by putting a sell limit up there. Or if you wanted, say you want to scale out of part of your position right now, again, so long as your quantity is set at 1, your buy and sell market buttons will default to this value down here. So in other words, we're long 2 contracts. If I want to take profit on one, all I need to do is tap the sell button. And that would reduce my holdings by 1 contract, because I would have offset one of the longs. Okay, hopefully I'll get one more swing here, and then I can get a little bit more aggressive with my stops again. Come on. All right. You know what? I'm taking the trade to break even. I was going to roll below here, but it's a situation again where the market may just dip low enough. We'll see how it plays out, but it may just dip low enough to tag me here and then reverse and head higher. It's hard to say whether this is a test of the extreme. Normally the tests of the extreme come up short, but the fact that the market broke the high and gave me no follow through, rather it's coming down here to test the lows, is a little concerning. I may have to wait a little bit longer. I just don't feel like running a great big stop right now. This is definitely the top end of the trading range. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're only 45 minutes into the session. It seems like we've been here all morning. All right, so things getting a slightly more bearish here. We've actually produced our counter trend signal. Remember, the hard edge is the first target, so not really a worthwhile trade, not to mention that it does seem as though the buyers were a little bit more aggressive here than the sellers so far. I could see the buyers trying to, pardon me, the sellers trying to push the market a little bit deeper, maybe back here to the primary support zone around 59.93. So what I'm on the lookout for now is a possible hard edge bounce. And you can see the market trying to get a little bit deeper, as I said it might. We're an hour into the session, but it's really too early to suggest that the market's going to reverse the morning trend, given that the trend was so wishy-washy. The rest of the tools also falling a little bit flat here. still hovering near the top end of yesterday's trading range and today's trading range as well for that. And it looks as though we're trying to head a little bit lower maybe for the next push up. I would still expect one more rally here. I think the buyers do owe us one more push higher. All right, here on the Raptor, if we come out of here now with a buy signal, that will be a hard edge bounce. That'll be our number 3 signal. But things getting a little bit slow again. That's a good question, Stephen. Stephen asks, the NASDAQ and the mini Dow, that's the YM, used to trade parallel, but now they're running opposite. Do you know why that is? I think it's partly to do with the sideways nature of the market that we have right now. I think when both markets are trending, they're going to be moving together. Fundamentally, I think it's because the Dow stocks are linked a little bit closer with the price of oil, and the NASDAQ tends to be more tech stocks. And oil's kind of sideways and choppy. The E-mini is up today, but you know, the NASDAQ has been struggling, and as you pointed out, the YM actually heading the other way. I don't know, maybe we will get a bigger push lower. This sideways trading is deadly anyway. I would have tried the number 3 signal had I got it. Stops, again, need to be really, really deep. There's no way around that, unfortunately. And there's not much to do until they sort things out. Okay, the Geiger counter pulling over here a little bit. They're going to come out of the hard edge. We're going to get a buy signal. As I mentioned, I think the buyers owe us one more push higher. I'm not really impressed with all this sideways trading, however. But here they come. Don't have a warning dot yet. May end up just punching in with an order. Yeah, the hawk, totally neutral. The Falcon actually giving us a trend change signal here to sell, but like I said, the overall trend is up, so I'm not all that keen on shorting right now. See if we get that hard edge bounce signal. We've been going sideways for the last half hour, which is never good. This is what traders refer to as barbed wire, because it's swinging up and down, up and down, up and down without going anywhere. And you know what happens when you play with barbed wire? Floyd says, check out my 30-second ADX chart. 1 second here while I build one real quick. Oh, wow. It's just buried. Hold on a second here, folks. So here's Floyd's ADX. ADX is a momentum style indicator. It is non-directional. But what it tells you is if it's above, in this case 20, if it's above 20, there's something resembling a trend. It doesn't tell you whether the trend is up or down, rather just that prices should have some follow through. And once it gets below 20, there is no trend. And look at this, this is just buried. Yeah, I think you're right, Floyd. I think it's best just to Step away. Step away from the computer. Oh, there's a little bit of an uptick. So Floyd likes to use 20 as a threshold. So anything below here would be a no-no. Yeah, good little tool. Thanks for sharing that, Floyd. Okay, getting into that hard edge again. Trying to come out of that hard edge. Oops. Oh no, that's what I get for screwing around with the charts. Hold on, they're coming. Here we go. Okay, I think everything's back to normal now. All right, boys and girls, I'm sorry I need to shut down the room a little bit early today. I have another meeting today, but it doesn't look like we're going to miss anything. If you're going to continue trading this afternoon, I would favor buy signals versus sell signals. Ryman asks, what was the name of that 30-second indicator? What should we call it, Floyd? The Floydcator? All right. If you're interested in doing something like that, build yourself a new chart. And your type is going to be seconds. By default, it goes down to 30. So just open up a chart. And then what I did was you add your indicators. So here, ADX. And I think Floyd said he's going with 20 instead of 25. And you probably want to make the line a little easier to see. So I just changed the color and the width. And unless you want to keep the price bars, I changed just to a line chart because it's black on black, so you won't see it. And there you go. So now, according to the Floydicator, we've got something, a little bit more momentum coming into the market. And since prices have been heading lower, it would be reasonable to assume that they're going to try to head a little bit lower still. The Geiger counter, Geiger counter a little bit more neutral now. I thought it was perhaps pulling over. And there you go. There is your handy dandy do-it-yourself momentum indicator. Okay, gang, I will see you tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more momentum coming into the market. But like I said, if you're going to continue trading, I think you're going to be better off looking to buy rather than trying to sell. Okay, talk to you tomorrow then. Bye for now.